After nearly a year of silence, Lil Jeff's killer has finally broken his silence, revealing what really went down that day, and what the cameras never caught.
I think I was like, damn, it's 6 out there, you know? Hey, it's crazy, bro.
But here's what you probably didn't know. Someone tipped off Trap City Rob, and that warning was the only reason he stood on business that day. So, who really backdoored Lil Jeff? Was it someone from the Bloodhound gang? And why did the rest of his crew just stand there, watching him get shot multiple times without ever firing back? All those questions and more are finally answered in the killer's long-awaited confession. Let's get into it. In a shocking revelation and an unexpected turn of events, Lil Jeff's alleged killer, Trap City Rob, has come forward to share his side of the story. According to him, Lil Jeff left him with no choice but to stand on business. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the backstory, here's a quick breakdown. On June 8, 2024, Bloodhound members Lil Jeff, Q50 and another associate were allegedly out handling business. Surveillance footage later released shows Lil Jeff and his squad chasing down a rival gang member in the heart of Trap City. In the video, you can see Lil Jeff and his crew posted up in a black SUV, waiting for their target. As soon as they spotted him, Lil Jeff jumped out and started chasing him while firing shots. The target, wearing bright yellow shorts, ducked for cover and ran straight to a nearby porch. Though he was hit once in the chest, he kept running for his life. I knew the Bloodhounds were bloodthirsty when I saw Lil Jeff dressed in a black Nike hoodie and gray Nike joggers charging his target onto the porch. Strangely, his homies didn't follow. They stayed by the SUV, firing shots at the car that dropped off the target. But this is where things took a turn. The moment Lil Jeff reached the porch, gunfire erupted from the alley. Bullets were flying everywhere. Lil Jeff was caught in the middle of it, and his crew was too far to help. They watched as he was gunned down by someone inside the house. From another camera angle, barrage of gunshots can be heard, yet the guys by the SUV don't even duck. I believe those bullets were meant for Lil Jeff as he lay on the ground, stood over and finished. His crew fired a few scattered rounds toward the house but didn't try to recover him. Once they saw he'd been hit multiple times, they turned back, returned to the SUV, and waited for a chance to grab his body. That theory checks out. Police later marked dozens of shell casings near the door, confirming that Lil Jeff was stood over as soon as he got behind the big porch pillar. That same pillar, though, also provided enough cover to keep his team from firing back effectively. After the shooting, the killer reportedly jumped off the porch and started firing at the rest of the crew, forcing them to retreat to the SUV. One man, believed to be Q50 and seen in a red jumpsuit, was limping back, likely after being shot in the foot. A Reddit user pointed that out too, saying they noticed it in the original footage. His homies lowered their guns, stunned like, damn, our big homie just got stood over. Then, they snapped out of it and returned fire, but by then it was already too late. Lil Jeff had been shot nearly 19 times in the chest. You can see him collapse at the end of the video. But it didn't stop there. After the gunfire died down, his crew circled back, scooped him up, and rushed him to the hospital, where he was later pronounced dead. Another Reddit user said that lines up with reports that a black SUV dropped him off. I looked up the address where the hit happened on Google Maps, and everything checks out. You can clearly see the silver Jeep parked across from the black SUV. It's likely the security camera from that house captured the whole incident. If you pan around on the map, you get a perfect angle of the SUV, probably the same one used as the getaway ride. Even though Trap City Rob stayed low-key after the shooting, he's now confessed. And that confession not only confirmed he was the shooter but gave a whole new perspective on what went down. In an interview with Block to Block, Lil Jeff's killer laid it all out, claiming he saw 6 people chasing his homeboy down.
Damn. Okay, so is there anything about that case you want to clear up and just touch about, bro? Because I see you got a whole different perspective.
I see the videos, I think that I was like, damn, it's 6 out there, you know?
Now that's a whole different perspective. How did he even know there were 6 people there? The video that circulated online didn't show that many. I guess that's where Trap City Rob might have slipped up. Still, despite how smooth the counterattack, when Rob didn't brag, he claimed he was only doing what needed to be done to protect his hood, and that just might be true. Because a resurfaced video shows Trap City Rob posted up on the front porch of the same building where Lil Jeff was killed, just chilling, watching his surroundings. One fan caught it and said, "For real, this dude like some troll in a cave. You don't know he's there until it's too late. This is his spot, and he held it down." No wonder people started calling Rob the Defensive Player of the Year. During his Block to Block interview, Rob explained why he was always on that porch. He said he's hyper-aware of his surroundings and always stays critically conscious of what's going on around him.
I'm conscious, bro, like, I'm in my environment, but I understand the overall, you know what I'm saying?
This becomes even clearer in the same interview, where you can see Trap City Rob and his homies Black and Terror constantly scanning left and right, staying alert for any possible threat. Damn, Chicago is not for beginners. Trap City Rob then gave a deeper glimpse into his mindset, revealing the roots of his so-called critical consciousness. He claimed that drill rap is a setup, a plot designed to turn black people against each other. Sadly, he says, too many young black men have taken the bait. That's why, in his words, they keep running up on each other over the slightest inconvenience.
Black man is very underdeveloped and undereducated in America, bro.
Ooh, not me?
No, listen, bro. When it comes to emotional intelligence, reasoning and people getting shot over shoes and that's not being emotionally intelligent.
Trap City Rob's responses during the interview drew a wave of positive reactions from people in the hood. One user commented, "Rob is what you call a grown man." Another chimed in, "These dudes are mature. Jeff was just an immature kid running up on some OGs." Jeff didn't think before he reacted. That's the difference between a grown man and a little boy. OGs don't move like Jeff did. OGs follow rules and guidelines. The interviewer then brought up a viral meme that had made rounds on Reddit, where Rob's face was photoshopped onto Malcolm X's iconic photo, with a caption, "Protect the trap." The post even joked that Rob should run for president, claiming he'd win easily based on how he handles business. Trap City Rob acknowledged he had seen the meme but made it clear he's not in this for clout or internet fame.
Chase that shit. I don't even like it, so I don't even know. Internet crazy.
Trap City Rob is no fool. He knows that bragging about the hit would only keep the cycle of violence spinning. After all, this entire beef has already turned bloody, with every hood looking to slide for their fallen homie, fueling a street war. In an earlier interview about Lil Jeff's lifestyle, the rapping hitman admitted he had been active in the streets since he turned 18.
So around what age did you jump off the porch and start hanging out in the streets?
I'm saying when I came outside for real, I was like 18 type.
Okay.
I just turned like 18. The shit I'm doing now is I've been seeing my whole life, you know what I'm saying? I told you I got an older brother. So this shit ain't nothing new for real. It's the same shit I've been seeing.
It is Trap City Rob. And here's the twist: back in the day, these two were actually cool with each other. In the block-to-block interview on YouTube, Trap City Rob confirmed that the two hoods used to have a solid relationship, until the Bloodhounds snatched one of their homies' chains. After that, everything went south.
They know what they did.
So, okay.
They know what they did.
So, okay, the Bloodhounds, y'all was cool.
Everybody that got a that was my homie. He stole the chain, bro. We tried like he took it. He stole my home chain.
The death hit the Bloodhounds hard, but none more than Lil Jeff. He had been under Zony's protection ever since his brother, Jay Boogie, got locked up. After the murder, both Lil Jeff and his right-hand man, Q50, tattooed Zony's name on their skin, a permanent tribute to their fallen big homie. But if you look closer, you'll see that the root of the beef went even deeper than what Trap City Rob explained. For Bloodhound Jeff, this war started with the death of his cousin, Zony. Here's a little background. Early in Lil Jeff's life, his older brother Jay Boogie caught a charge and got sent to prison. With Jay Boogie behind bars, Z-Money's cousin stepped in and filled the role of an older brother. He protected Jeff, helped him handle street business, and let him shine in the spotlight while Zony stayed behind the scenes, moving like a silent director. But everything changed on March 16, 2023. That day, Zony was gunned down, marking one of the most devastating losses for Lil Jeff and the Bloodhound gang. The killing also fractured whatever street alliance still existed between Trap City and Drill City, according to reports. Zony, also known as Z-Money, was sitting in his car on the 1300 block of East 79th Street, right by the intersection at Kimbark in Chicago's Avalon Park neighborhood. He was parked in the lot of a dry cleaning store when a car pulled up and opened fire. Zony was rushed to the University of Chicago Medical Center, but it was too late. He didn't make it. As the news spread, rumors about who was behind the hit started circulating on Reddit. The streets whispered that Zony had been backdoored by old friends from Trap City. That's when Lil Jeff grew restless and bloodthirsty. He was out for revenge, and Jeff already had someone in mind, Lil Pooh, Trap City member who had been publishable. But Lil Jeff wasn't reckless. He gave his targets time to relax, time to think the coast was clear, then struck when they least expected it. April 9th, 2023, became D-Day. Lit up on him in broad daylight. Instead, he waited patiently outside Lil Pooh's home, posted up like a watchdog, and when Pooh came home to rest, Lil Jeff sent him to eternal rest. According to Chicago PT, at around 11:30 p.m., shots rang out on the 1800 block of 223rd Street. When officers arrived, they found a man later identified as Pierre Boozer Jr., lying unresponsive in the front yard of his home. He had been shot multiple times. Responded directly, saying he disrespected Zony, and that kind of disrespect doesn't get overlooked. For Lil Jeff, it wasn't just about revenge and disappear back into the shadows. He had tasted blood and now he wanted more. Soon he was back in the streets, hunting his ops and sending them to early graves. One of the most infamous hits attributed to Jeff was the murder of BKN, Lil Rob and Monty, a killing that was captured on surveillance footage. It happened near Innovations High School in downtown Chicago, in the Loop District. Around 12:30 p.m., Lil Rob and Monty were leaving school for lunch, walking casually toward Washington Street and Wabash Avenue. Despite how busy the area was, two cars suddenly pulled up. Multiple armed men jumped out and opened fire, unleashing chaos in broad daylight. Both BKN boys were gunned down on the spot. The surveillance video shows Monty and Lil Rob walking toward the elevator structure, unaware of the danger. From the right side of the frame, you can see a dark-colored SUV emerge from under the train tracks. A shooter hops out, rushes the boys, and opens fire. Once the job was done, the gunman ran back to the vehicle, sped off toward Wabash and South, then turned left on Madison to escape. Although the video clearly shows one car, Chicago PD Deputy Chief John later confirmed that two vehicles were involved and that multiple rounds were fired at a group of teenagers.
When two cars pulled up and a group of individuals exited said vehicles, fired multiple times, striking two of the teenage students of Innovations High School. These individuals were taken to Northwestern Hospital where they succumbed to their injuries.
Eyewitnesses reported hearing between 10 to 15 gunshots ring out, and in just a split second, the shooters vanished from the scene. Local shopkeeper Muhammad Ashik described what he heard, saying the shots were rapid and terrifying from his point of view.
Like a firecracker, like something like a firecracker, like a 10-15 shot. Boom, 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 boom.
The shots sounded like firecrackers. That likely means at least one of the shooters was using a pistol equipped with a switch, giving it that explosive rapid fire sound. It was a brutal hit, and the city was in mourning. Well, not the entire city, because shortly after the double murder, the mastermind behind the hit got on Instagram Live and started bragging about the operation. He made bold comments, hinting that he had just dropped 2 more bodies, proudly adding to his growing body count.
Feel if I get mad enough, will start happening. Y'all know this by now. I went for like a week, and poof. Gotta go after that one. Poof. I came back. Poof.
Lil Jeff was so ruthless. Fans of drill couldn't help but ask, why did he chase down Lil Rob and Monty with such precision? Here's why. Back in the day, Lil Rob and Monty allegedly robbed Lil Jeff, snatching his jewelry. As disrespectful as that was, they didn't stop there. The BKN boys jumped online and went on a full-blown trolling spree, dissing the Bloodhounds, mocking the robbery, and even claiming the jewelry they took was fake.
Tell the op. You take the
He got like 50K, damn! That fake AP they got.
And showing off the watches they claimed to have grabbed during the robbery. But here's where it got hilarious. One of the watches was fake, a knockoff iced piece made to look like a real Odemus Pig AAP. It didn't take long for Reddit to catch on. One user pointed out that the iced out watch had a GLD logo on the clasp, a brand known for selling gold-plated jewelry. In other words, fake dripped out. When that news hit the streets, Lil Jeff jumped on IG Live, denying that anyone ever took anything from him by force. According to him, the boys just took a peek when he wasn't looking and dipped.
On my dead grandmother head, if I'm lying, I'm down. God could come pull me out this car right now. I never took a dollar from
nothing.
A nigga said, let me take a picture, this, that, and that. I look up, the nigga then ran down. We all the way at the top of the staircase first off.
Long after the robbery, YouTuber Word from the Trenches brought Monty and some BKN members onto his vlog, where they shamelessly flexed the watches they stole and openly bragged about the hit. During that same vlog, Monty received a FaceTime call from Bloodhound Lil Jeff. The conversation got heated. Monty kicked things off by asking, "Where the J at?" slang for, "Where's that jewelry?" before flashing the watch he claimed to have snatched. The entire vlog was nothing but blatant disrespect. Monty and the BKN crew mocking Lil Jeff and trolling the whole Bloodhound gang. But one thing was clear. Lil Jeff didn't take disrespect lightly. Fast forward almost a year after the robbery, and the Chicago Police Department finally made progress in the case. The first arrest was Tommy Coleman, an affiliate of Lil Jeff and the Bloodhounds. He was picked up on the 5700 block of North Mason and charged with double murder. Earlier this year, a second suspect was named 20-year-old James Allison, known on the streets as J-Mo Bloodhound. Word on the block was clear. Lil Jeff was next in line to be arrested before he was tragically killed. So when the news broke that Lil Jeff had been gunned down allegedly by Trap City Rob, one fan commented, "He killed Lil Rob. Now he got by Big Rob." It was a darkly funny remark, but it spoke volumes about the dead-end nature of gang life. There's only one way out, and it's not pretty. But here's the big question. Why did Reddit pin Lil Jeff's murder on Trap City Rob? As soon as the news of Jeff's death hit the streets, Chicago was rocked not just by the killing, but by the trolling frenzy that exploded on Reddit. Most of the hate was aimed at the hood believed to be responsible for sending Lil Jeff back to his maker on Triprecology, a subreddit dedicated to dissecting Chicago drill culture. Users quickly began pointing fingers. Many posts alleged that the shooter was none other than Trap City Rob, also known as Itroprob. The claim gained traction because Rob had reportedly been arrested multiple times at the same apartment where the fatal shots were fired. While some Redditors focused on identifying the shooter, others turned their attention to the faces seen. In the surveillance video tried to ID the guys who were with Lil Jeff during the drill. One guy stood out. The one in the red jumpsuit. Fans quickly identified him as Q50 and the trolling began. Many mocked him for getting shot during the drill, accusing him of being sloppy. But Q50 wasn't having it. He denied being involved in the hit altogether.
Does it make it worse when there's like videos and people reacting to it? And they were trying to say you slipped and fell, and you saying I wasn't even there, right?
I wasn't even there. Stop saying I was done, man.
Q50 can deny it all he wants, but the streets are rarely wrong. In the same thread of street justice, Reddit investigators identified the man in the yellow shorts who Lil Jeff was chasing in the footage as Trap City Glenn. And in a shocking twist, it turns out that wasn't the first time Lil Jeff ran down on Glenn. Word on the street is that Jeff had previously caught Glenn slipping at a store and let off 15 shots, but Glenn somehow survived. Just like every other time Lil Jeff tried to ambush him, Glenn made it out alive. Eventually, a resurfaced video confirmed the rumors. In the clip, Lil Jeff himself is seen talking about that exact incident at the store, proving that the street chatter was true.
Yeah, I love that stuff. Too bad is that. He get to see y'all. I'm glad though. He can see y'all talk about him all day.
15 shots should have ended Glenn, but he survived. One fan even joked, "Damn, he gotta be blessed. Fr Grandma been praying for him if they had probable cause for the arrest." A witness had come forward and placed Rob at the scene of the shooting, according to police documents. Surveillance officers spotted Rob entering and exiting his apartment on Esroads Avenue, armed with a black firearm. They also knew a shocking twist. The investigation failed to prove that Rob had actually pulled the trigger. Because of that, the murder charge against him was dropped. Still, he wasn't walking away clean because he had been caught with a gun as a convicted felon. The weapons charge stuck, and Rob is still expected to serve time after the arrest. Reddit exploded with reactions and controversy. One user wrote, "I ain't well versed on Illinois self-defense laws, but it's insane to me that anybody would be charged with murder in this situation. Was it because they kept shooting him?" Another fired back, "Ain't no self-defense for overkill, a couple shots. Maybe, but not 19. As the Reddit debate shifted from self-defense to justice, someone else added, "Free him." As for that armed habitual, he proved that day why he made it a habit. And truthfully, most fans agreed. That's why Trap City Rob was praised for standing on business, even if it meant catching a charge. It's almost like Reddit solved the case before CPD ever did. But here's the real question. If the murder charge was dropped, then that means Rob wasn't the shooter, so who was? A Reddit user summed it up perfectly. "I said Rob ain't pull it. The real shooter will probably never know. They're lying low, and they're not claiming it." Thanks for watching.